They found Megan and they found the kids. They were in the bed, all three of them and the dog Breezy, covered up with blankets, and it was very clear that they had been dead for weeks. Tony had been living in that house with them bodies.
I came home and my kids were dead. My wife died in front of me also.
Now, this is the part where it's just giving me, this gives me Chandler Halderson vibes as well as Chris Watts vibes, okay? He's trying to take up for his wife, that his wife, Megan, is actually the one that took the children's lives. He said that they had a murder-suicide plan because of the end of the world.
She was trying to explain to me what she did.
And that he chickened out. I mean, there was just so many stories. During this time, Tony promised himself that he was going to be a better father than his own. Megan is homeschooling the kids. I mean, everything is great. They got plenty of money coming in, okay? They go to Disney World, and according to Tony, okay, she got bit while she was at Disney World by a tick. If you guys don't know, a tick can be just a bite, and it can get into your bloodstream the wrong way and cause Lyme disease and all other kind of stuff. And she got super sick. Tony would go on to say that in her desperation to heal herself or to feel better, she started reading a book about a medical medium, okay? And this is when Tony said that Megan started acting really weird. She started to change. She started to become obsessed with the end of the world. This is all Tony's story. Things started getting really bad at the business. Family physical therapy. They both got master's degrees in physical therapy. Well, the checks for the employees at his physical therapy place started bouncing. Now, you know these people had to have loved the totes because they kept working even though the checks kept bouncing. But now he's got this little bit of trouble over here for this fraud and not paying his employees and all that. And his family's down in Florida going to Disney World with their Mickey ears on, and they ain't got no idea. So when he sits down to talk to the FBI investigators about this, he says, "Oh, you got it wrong. It must be a misunderstanding. Oh, I must have pressed the number accidentally more than once." And the FBI agency's like, "Yeah, buddy. We see your type all the time. You're going to jail." And he's like, "Okay, hold on. Let me make this right. Okay, I did do something. Let me get my paperwork together and I'll give you everything you need to know." Okay, so the investigator's like, "Okay, I'll meet you back here at this date." Well, when that happened, he packed up all of his stuff, honey. He hopped on that plane. He went to Florida. It seems like had full intentions on just running from this issue in Connecticut of the fraud. He gets down to Florida, and now we are in December of 2019. It is alleged that his wife, Megan, picked him up from the airport. Not long after that, a text message from his wife's phone went to her aunt saying that they weren't coming there for Christmas. See, Megan and her aunt Cindy were extremely close. A few days later, Cindy is calling Megan, calling her, and she's not answering. She's not answering. Cindy's like, "I'm starting to worry." Megan texts back that she had the flu. The whole entire family had the flu. They were super sick and they could not talk. On December 29th is when the first welfare check call was called in. Now, when the sheriff's office got there, nobody answered the phone. There was no lights on. There was no nothing. And they're like, okay, well, what are they going to do? They can't kick in the door. I mean, these are people that are known to travel. They could be anywhere. So the cops just left. On January 13th, however, is when the FBI came ready to knock that door down because they were there for the fraud situation, okay? And at this point, somebody was getting in that house. The cops showed up at the door and nobody answered. They jiggled the handle, they opened the door, and it came open.
Hey, come downstairs, look. All right.
The cops said when they opened the door, they could smell a foul smell. They could hear somebody upstairs and they began to call out, and Tony started to come down the stairs. Now, Tony was huffing and puffing like he could not breathe.
Have a seat. You good? I got you. So have a seat.
Megan!
When they went upstairs, they found Megan and they found the kids, but they were no longer alive. They were in the bed, all three of them and the dog Breezy, covered up with blankets, dead. The cause of death for the family members, they had a ton of Benadryl in their system, as well as him. In one of his confessions, he said that his 4-year-old baby girl, he gave her the Benadryl and then he rolled his body on top of her and stuff. Like, I don't know. He would later go on to tell some investigators that the reason why he did the fraud stuff was because he wanted to keep up this life that his family was accustomed to. But the judge and jury did not buy it. As a matter of fact, the judge said that he is a destroyer of worlds. Okay, he didn't take it lightly, by no means. Tony ended up getting 4 life sentences for the murders of his wife and children, and then another year tacked on for the animal cruelty for the dog. He will never get out again, although he's trying. Okay, I don't know if she did have some sort of thoughts of the end of the world, but what I don't think she hurt her babies. Okay, I don't think that, but again, I don't know. What do I think happened? I think he had a psychotic mental break. Now, things got a little weird, I guess you would say, in 2010 when Tony's estranged father reached out to him on Facebook. He reached out to him and told him that he wanted to talk to him and he wanted to meet up with him. Tony really thought about this. I mean, he was an amazing father to his children. He wanted to give his dad another chance, but a secret that he had been hiding was that when Tony was just 4 years old, his father, Robert Tote, hired somebody to kill his mother. And it wasn't just that. See, Robert Tote, which is Tony Tote's father, was known in his community as the perfect man. Robert and his wife, Loretta, which was Tony's parents, were considered in the community as just the perfect couple. They had 2 children, Tony being the oldest, and then his younger sister, Chrissy. Robert was the best provider for his family. He did a lot of volunteer work as well. And he was doing so good, and he was such a loving, doting father over his 2 children and his wife that he told his wife one day that he wanted to go back to school and take night classes so he could further his education. And at this time, Miss Loretta was like, oh my gosh, like, I have the perfect husband. You're so thoughtful. Yes, absolutely, I will support you. But what Loretta did not know was that Robert was actually having an affair, actually a couple affairs. And he was having an affair with a 17-year-old nurse who's just got it going on, and he's ready to take his wife out, y'all. I mean, can we not figure out another way? Now, Robert knew a young man named John who was 19 years old who had a learning disability. Allegedly goes up to John and offers him $800 to take his wife out. Came into the house and went into the bedroom where Loretta was and shot her in the face, and it went through her eye. Now, crazy thing is, she lived. 4-year-old Tony heard his mama screaming, came down the hallway and saw all this. Okay, so you can only imagine how traumatized he was. She was rushed to the hospital, and then when they started investigating it, they were trying to find out where the husband was, and they found out he was at his mistress's house. So obviously he becomes the main suspect. Long story short, he gets charged with attempted murder and conspiracy to hire and They go and arrest the 19-year-old boy, John. John turns state evidence, testifies against him. John, the one that actually shot him, gets 4 years, and Tony's dad, Robert, gets 10 to 20. Okay, now this is the craziest part. His wife, Loretta, stuck by him the whole time, y'all. She did not believe that he really did this. Well, later on, her opinion changed. She divorced him, took her kids, and went far, far away. See, even though everything seemed picture perfect, and it dang sure looked picture perfect in their community and online, Tony had a deep, dark secret that he was not willing to share just yet. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and I will see y'all next time. Love you guys. Bye.